So we are back, another weekend working on the Mega CD. So what we're going to do today is we're going to replace the battery on the main board, and we're going to get in a region-free BIOS in there. So cool, let me get this open and we'll get cracking. So we've got the main board of the Mega CD out. You can see my bodge job there with the bodge wire going to the capacitor leg. So we're going to replace the battery. So this is our battery here, a Sanyo rechargeable. My idea here is to put a battery holder in rather than a solder-on one, and that poses some kind of challenges that I'll talk about in a bit. But if you notice, we have 2 leads here and 1 here, which I assume is ground, but don't worry, I will buzz things out before I commit to actually soldering it in. So my idea of getting a holder on here is slightly complicated by the fact that there is these 2 anchor points here and 1 anchor point here, so the 2 positives and the negative. And why that's slightly complicated is this is our battery holder, standard CR2032 battery holder, but you'll notice straight away it has single contacts. But we're not going to let that stop us. We'll try and get both contacts soldered to the board. It might be at a slight angle, but we'll be able to kind of corral it into place. So, to talk about the batteries a bit, so I don't know if you can read that. It says Maxell ML2032 rechargeable. So there's 2 kinds of these rechargeables out there. I've used them in the past with my Dreamcast VMUs and with the clock battery in there. You'll see LI 2032 or L32, and they're pretty crap. They don't hold a charge very long, and they have really low milliamp hour ratings. These Maxell ML2032s are actually from the aviation industry and kind of other where applications are expected to last a really long time. They're getting harder and harder to find, these Maxell ML2032s. But as regards button cell batteries and rechargeables, they're a lot better. It all comes down to chemistry in the LI and L series 2032 batteries, often with no brand across here. The chemistry in them is just sub-optimum for what we want. With these ML2032s, they're much more akin to these. They supply the same voltages, but just the convenience of having them, in the little holder. So I've got the desoldering station on, so sorry about the noise. But yeah, so we're going to introduce some fresh solder into these joints before we attempt to get the old stuff out. I'll just make it a little bit easier. So that's the old battery out. So now I'm going to try and see if I can get both anchor points kind of in on this holder. So I don't know if you can see that, but I've got it kind of fitting. I had to bend out the legs, or bend in the legs rather, but you can see that both legs are now through the holes. Yeah, that was a bit of a pain. Didn't quite go as smoothly as I'd like it to, but you know what? It's going to be mechanically sound. I don't mind going through only one terminal here because they're actually, you can see the trace running between them there. It should be fine. So, we've got our battery holder in. I'll just pop in our Maxell ML2032. There we go. Now we have our battery restored and we should be able to just kind of whip that out in the future, put in a new one. Okay, so next thing we need to do is take care of the ROM chip. So as you've seen in the last video, I was able to put a socket in here. So we're going to take out the current ROM and burn up an EEPROM. So I've got my my top 3000 programmer ready to rock and roll. Hopefully Windows 10 hasn't done what it sometimes does, where I have to reinstall the drivers and kind of mess around with things because it's an unsigned driver for this device. Yeah, and some 27 C1024s arrived, so we'll get one of those bad boys out and get it programmed. I'm probably going to go with the US ROM for the 60 Hertz, but let me get things set up so I can get a screen cap and show you byte flipping the ROM and kind of prepping things. So I finally got the top 3000 working in Windows 10 again. It's actually reading the driver for a change. So yeah, it's a struggle. Every time I take this out of the box and maybe I haven't used it in a couple of months and I plug it in, I have to reinstall the program. So I've got the Fusion emulator running and I'm going to go to Options, Set Config, Mega CD BIOS, Browse. Yeah, I'm here in kind of my project folder I've set up for this Mega CD project. So what we want is US CD1 region free. Yeah, move that BIOS. Terminator US open. Yeah, so that BIOS seems to be working great. So that's the one we're going to go with. And now what I want to do is byte swap it. So here's the byte swap application I'm using. This one's from GadgetUK. I'll leave a link to his channel, as I do in most of my videos. Thanks again, GadgetUK, for sharing byte swap utility. So, file source. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up here. We'll have a look. So it's going to be this one, the USA region free. Again, I'm going for this because it's 60 Hertz compatible. So, okay, we're all set up here. We've got electronics mod. That should be okay. So, if we watch our folder, done. So, we've got this one called same file name, but without. So that's okay. I'm going to copy that. And now what I want to do is open up my Universal Programmer file, load. So we're going to, again, copy and paste into here, open, and this is the one we byte swapped. You notice it's appended the file name with the out. So, okay, we're going to
And okay, that should be fine. And if I check, there's very little blank at the end, which is good. We're filling with some Fs, but we're pretty good. 128 kilobytes. So, what we're going to do now is go, hopefully, pass the blank check. We have, and we're in the right. So usually this will go a bit slower. Verified, complete. Okay, so our ROM is written. So that's our ROM written. I'm just going to take out the original mask ROM and put in the new EEPROM. So that's our EEPROM in with the US NTSC region-free BIOS and our battery installed. So I'm going to have to use a different Mega Drive from this, the so-called Mega Drive from hell. I won't be using that because it doesn't have a region mod. So I'm going to be swapping it out with another Model 1 Genesis that has an Arduino Mega Drive ++ mod in it. Basically pretty much the same as the Pick Chip mod, but with in-game reset. So I was just putting things back together now that we have our battery holder in and the BIOS chip. And yeah, this is our first kind of problem. The RF shield will not go back on because it won't fit down over that. You can see it's catching there. I really do not give a crap about RF shields. I'd rather put the RF shield away for now in a box with spare parts and just have it just to pop in the ribbon cable, close it up, because even I don't have the actual plate that goes on the bottom of the Sega Mega Drive to hook into this RF shield. It's grounded in so many other ways, I don't think it even really matters. I'm probably wrong about that, but I'm willing to take the chance. Another thing to mention is that the Mega CD can be modded to use non-volatile RAM. So by that I mean FRAM rather than RAM that requires a battery. I had planned to do that with my Sega Saturn, but apparently the same mod can work with this. Renee from DB Electronics has done a write-up on the Sega Saturn version, and he maintains that it can be done on the Sega CD because they basically use the same chips. And yeah, so that's something I'm going to be doing in the future, so I can reintroduce the RF shield at that stage. I'll take my little label warning here for C46 and place it on the board somewhere. But yeah, the can's going. So the Mega CD's back in its place. We'll flick it on. And there we go. Excellent stuff. Shame I'm using the cheap ass SCART to HDMI converter. My OSSC is kind of sick. It has to be sent off for repairs. But yeah, let's play some games. Again, sorry for the capture footage, it's not going to be great. Non-integer scaling and all the rest of it. But yeah, we'll make do.
Yes, sir. Pleased to meet you, Gillian. I am Metal Gear Mach 2. I am programmed to be your personal assistant.
Metal Gear? That's a pretty weird name.
Oh, he's cute.
Thank you. Now departing for the abandoned factory.
day on the job, and now this. Ace Junker Gibson has cornered a suspected snatcher. I wonder if this guy really is a snatcher. Guess I'll find out now if all that training really paid off.
何？ジェシカに何をした？貴様は誰だ？
まあ焦るね。そこにあるテレビをつけてみればわかるかもよ。
貴様！
So guys, that is the Sega CD project pretty much finished. Nice little console saved. Some cool games. Snatcher, can't wait to finish it. But yeah, I may return to it in the future when I'm doing the mod for the RAM, the save game memory on the Saturn. I may investigate doing the same for our Mega CD. Well, cool guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll chat to you all again.